Hey everybody, so I got some better lighting. So now I feel like I was too dark down there, so I have that. I got Wendell here, hey buddy. And I think we're ready to go on lecture 2, which is all about file setup. So in the previous lecture, we talked a lot about the user interface and what exactly are we seeing. In this lecture, we're going to apply a profile to CAD so that you and I are all looking at the same thing. Now, technically, you should only have to do this once. It just depends on how the semester goes and how, say, glitchy or not glitchy your computers are. For some students, we just had to revisit this, but this is an easy thing. So let's do that. Let's set up a file. So the file that I started last time is user interface, and you can see that right here under recent documents. But I'm just going to start a new drawing. And just to reiterate, I'm going to double check the templates on acad.dwt, which is what the template file that I'd like to keep it on. Also, we shouldn't have to change that this semester, but if you're moving through here and you accidentally click on a different one and your file looks different than mine, it might be because of that, and it might be worth just starting a new file over again. acad.dwt is going to go ahead and start drawing. Okay, so here's our interface, much like what we had in the previous lecture. I don't have my crazy lines on there because this is a brand new file called drawing number 2. I'm going to go ahead and just save this just to show you again and also just get in the habit of saving. So I'm going to go up to the A, go save as. That first file we called user interface. Let's call this one drawing, or let's call it file setup. And I'm gonna hit save. Okay, I know it's saved because up here, I see the name has changed. Okay, so let's apply this profile. Now I've included this profile with the handout. So it's a .arg file, and it should be attached in the assignment 1 content channel along with the handout. So you should be seeing that file. So I would download that file to your desktop or wherever it is you're working, somewhere where you know where to access it. So I'm going to go to the big A. And what I'm going to do is click this options button right here. Right there. Click that options button. Okay. Options has all kinds of different tabs in here of things to change. Say, for example, the display. How do you want things to look when you're working in CAD? How do you want to open and save things? Yada, yada, yada. A lot of different stuff in here. A lot of stuff to go down in the weeds on. What I want to do is just click on profiles at the very end. Okay. Now, I want to import a new profile or .arg file. So I'm going to go to import right here. And I'm going to go to where I saved that .arg that I got off the Teams assignment 1 content channel. Okay, so let me just go to Teams real quick. Under assignment 1 content, that ARG file will be in here with the lectures and the handout. Everything will be in here. Okay, I'm going to find that .arg where I downloaded it. So it might be on your desktop. For me, it's under my week 2 folder. And I'm going to hit open. And it says profile name, architectural setup. That's good. That's what we want. I'm going to say apply and close. Okay, now I see it here on the list. It hasn't been applied yet, even though it said apply and close, which is a little frustrating. I need to set my computer to that architectural setup file. So I'm going to go ahead and click on set current. So I want this one to be current. I'm going to say set current. Now you'll see my environment has changed a little bit. Okay. And I'm just going to hit OK. All right. So what's changed? First off, we have a nice black background. so we can easily see our drawing. We have a nice high contrast. So that's one nice feature. We have the command bar at the bottom. Sorry, I just need to make sure we are recording. Yeah, I think so. Okay, we have the command bar at the bottom. It's in yellow this time, so we can see it. We can access it. It's just visible for everybody. And also you may notice that the crosshairs go across the whole screen vertically and horizontally, and they're red. So that's another nice feature where instead of the crosshairs just being a little thing, we have a nice long one so we can see if things are aligned. It's a good, nice little reference to have. Okay, my environment is almost set up. There's one thing I'd like to do, and that is turn on properties. Now, properties are a very useful sort of tool, or I guess like informational tool to have on your screen while you're working. So let me give you an example. I'm going to just draw a line. I'm going to go ahead and hit L for line. I'm just going to click from here to here. Don't worry about its length, nothing like that. And I'm just going to hit escape. There's a line. Now, I have no idea how long this line is or anything like that. Okay, so one way to figure it out would be with the properties. So if I type in properties, I just typed it in and I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, so there's this little window that opens. Now yours might open something like this, sort of floating in the model space. So this is a very useful thing to have open. So if I click on this line, this will tell me everything I need to know about this line. So if I look at the bottom here, length says 16.8773. That's how long it is. The angle is 34 degrees from 0, which is horizontal, would be 0. So really nice to have open so that I can sort of pick different things in my drawing and see what's going on. Now, I don't want this thing floating here, so I want to sort of dock it over on the left-hand side. So if you click this bar on the left, you can move it around, okay? I'm going to go ahead and bring it over here. I'm holding down the left mouse button and dragging it over till I see that it expands like that on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to let go, and it sort of docks there on the left. So that looks pretty good. This environment looks just about what I want. There's one more thing I want to do. First thing I'm going to do is just sort of delete this line. I'm going to select it, hit delete. And the last thing I want to do is just change my units. So you saw that line was 16.87 blah, 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 16.87 what? It's not very helpful. So I'm going to type in units. And I'm going to change my length here. It says decimal. I'm going to change it to architectural and hit OK. All right, now I'm just going to draw a line, L, enter, from there to there. Now if I hit escape to end that command, I'm so used to it that I didn't even explain it, but I'm just hit escape, I'm done with that command. I'm going to select that line. Now if I look over on the left, I can see, hey, that line is 2 foot 3 and 15/16. That's a much more useful sort of unit dimension than just 16 point whatever. Okay, so I'm going to delete the line now. So I just hit the delete button when I did that. So if I'll bring that back, I can select that line, go ahead, hit the delete, and it's gone. So this environment is actually perfect. So it'd be nice that when I open a file, it's sort of laid out like this. I'm going to go ahead up to my quick access toolbar, hit save, the little disk up here, if you remember what disks are. Go ahead, hit save. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit the X on my file setup file that I just made. When I hit it, I'm closing it. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to start drawing and I'm just going to open a new file. Okay. All right. Here we are in a new file. There's a couple things that aren't on, I can tell, which is my grid. We can turn that on. But my profile is applied. I have the yellow command bar in the bottom, my crosshairs, my properties are here. I'm going to check my units. They're on decimal, so I'm going to change those to architectural, hit OK, and then I'm just going to turn on my grid. Now there's a couple ways to turn on the grid. You can do Control G, there's your grid, it's on, or you can hit the little grid button on the bottom here. I believe it's this one. Is it this one? I can't click on it right now because my Screencastify, which I used to record this lecture, is sort of in the way. But hit one of those buttons down there that looks like a grid. That will also toggle it on and off. Otherwise, Control G. Space again here, Control G. On, grid off. So this is a good environment now to start doing your assignment 1. But before you do that, watch my next 2 lectures on drawing and modification. In those 2 lectures, the first one will go over these tools, and then the one after that will go over these tools. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next lecture.